Oh, you fucking fanny wagon. Hey guys, and hey guys, and welcome to the next instalment of How I Would Write. And today I'm going to be talking about how I would handle writing the next Predator movie. Now, much like my Jurassic Park one just recently, I'm not going to go into a full plot or full character details. I'm going to give you a basic overview of what I would want to see and what I think fans of the original, particularly first two movies, would want to see as well. Starting off the bat, and quite possibly the most controversial take I would have of this, is that I would not advertise it as a Predator movie. I would maybe not even make a movie with it itself, because you're putting a lot of risk to try and get Predator fans to come and see a movie that they don't know that a Predator is in. You're relying strictly on word of mouth. So what could work better is maybe having it as a small TV miniseries or straight to streaming kind of movie. Briefly note aside, the Predator movie I did want to write was going to be one against the Vikings, because I know they covered it in King of Killers just recently in the animated movie, but after watching the TV show Vikings, I'll be like, oh damn, I wish a fucking Predator was in this. Like, I would pay to see a Yautja take on Bjorn Ironside. But knowing the Predator lore, we know that Predators don't really strike those kind of Arctic conditions. They are more drawn to the heat, as has been explained in the first two Predator movies. So how I would start this off is I would follow the same sort of vein as the first Predator movie, and now I would have the base core group of main characters are an elite sort of special forces kind of group, and they're going into an extremely hot, hostile situation, maybe something that's even happening today. And I'm talking something big, something huge. If you look at sort of what's going on to Christians in Nigeria at the moment, or if you're willing to rewind time, because I really wanted to see maybe a Predator in, like, the Cambodia fucking Holocaust horrible shit, or even Iwo Jima, a situation like that is massive. So if I was going to do it today, I would have this movie advertised as an elite special forces group going in, maybe kind of like a Tears of the Sun kind of situation. They're going in to try and stop a massive kind of genocide level event. And another way I would advertise this as well, this does appeal to Slipknot fans. If you've ever seen the music video for Slipknot's song Solway Firth, where it's a music video for the TV show The Boys, but if you don't know anything about The Boys, as I didn't, I watched the music video for it thinking it was just a fucked up horror movie, and it turns out it was a TV show about superheroes. So when it comes to doing the advertisement for the Predator movie, I would advertise it as just this modern day military action movie, again playing on the themes of the first Predator movie, but do not advertise the Predator whatsoever. You could even play into the first movie's strengths of just getting people in that full sense of security, thinking that they're just watching an action thing. You could play on that so much, but to begin with the plot, just have this group establish themselves, but going into this hostile environment. But as they get there, they realise that this, let's just say, dictator enemy has gone into hiding, and a lot of his sort of, how can I put this, a lot of his stormtroopers, if you will, are being taken out one by one. And it's the way it's displayed is that it could just literally be a serial killer. Do not give any evidence of Predator activity. And as our main group of characters go through these villages that have been torn down by this this horrible corruption, this horrible government, this horrible warlord, whatever it might be, they start to learn more about something that saved them, but they didn't know what. They thought it was the Americans that had come to save them. And if you were going to do this as a TV miniseries, let's say maybe 6 episodes, I wouldn't expose the Predator until later on. Maybe have the first 2 episodes just them discovering just more fucked up remains of this dictatorship-led fucking, drug lord, warlord, whatever the fuck. But them just finding more and more bodies, and they had to sit down and have a chat, this group of main characters, and they could even utter the line from Predator 2, we've got a new player in town. But because you haven't revealed the Predator yet, you could play along on the lines of, is this another military group that are coming in to take people out? Again, with the themes of the first Predator movie. But you could, particularly with modern day paranoia, they could be like, is this Russia? Is this China? Is this another group? bringing a political element to it of is another country that the West is atypically against trying to establish control of this particular African country. Or I've said Africa, so I'll say this movie, let's make it take place in Africa. Is there another country trying to get the hands and overthrow the current dictatorship so they can install their own puppet? You can make it quite political in that regard. Then around about sort of 50 to maybe 60% way into your story, whether it's episodic or whether it's a movie, you get down to the main group cornering a few of the final standing stormtroopers, if you will, and they're locked in a building, maybe a factory, maybe an abandoned warehouse, something like that, and shooty bang bang, you're getting your action served up, and then out of nowhere, one of the main cast gets the 3 laser dots right on them, and I would have the camera just hold on that for 5 seconds, and then you get the shoulder cannon plasma caster takes one of them out. And the reason I would like to do this is because it is one of the few ways you could really recapture the magic of the first movie, because that's what works brilliantly. You don't know what you're dealing with, and then when it happens, it is very nostalgia baiting, it's very fan baiting, it is very just, pleasing the audience. But I think once one Predator fan sees this, word of mouth, they'll say to all their friends, try and keep it under wraps as much as possible, but they'll say to their friends something like this, like, dude, you trust my taste in movies? Yeah, just watch this. But where you could go from this, now that you've introduced the Predator, is all Predator fans know exactly what they're up against, what the capabilities are, but you could introduce something that when they finally get to the warlord, the dictator, it turns out that he has personally faced Predator before. Because at some point, Predators must come back. If you look at what Anna says in the first movie, it's not just one hot summer that her people have faced against these Predators. She says it's happened multiple times. And of course, with the end of Prey, where she has the pistol, is obviously the pistol in Predator 2 that was given to Danny Glover. So the main characters, when they finally get down to this final warlord, could tell them, or just explain maybe that this is something that they don't understand. However, our group, armed and dangerous, our Predator now has new targets. And I would personally stay away from them learning how the Predator sees, because obviously it works really well in the first movie. I think Prey did a decent job, introducing a different way, for her to learn to shield herself against the Predator's vision. But I think in Predator 2, Danny Glover didn't need to, hide his body heat or anything like that. So you would have to install a new way for them to make the Predator visible, instead of them making themselves invisible to the Predator. And as I mentioned, with the Warlord having faced the Predator before, and maybe with the main cast of characters, typical Predator fashion, getting killed off one by one until it's the last main guy, our Warlord and a Predator, you could have a 3-way fight. And now that I've just said that out loud, that sounds fucking baller. I would pay to see that, a 3-way fight between antagonist, protagonist and Predator. It'll be like a better version of Aliens versus Predator. So yeah, that is how I would handle it. This is a lot shorter video than what I'd normally do. Predator is a franchise that has it's easy to say that it's run its course or it's been ran into the ground, because the first 2 movies really, they gave us so much already, and the movies that followed up, I've not seen Badlands. I wasn't a massive, I loved the idea of King of Killers, but I think it shat the bed at the end. Prey and Predators are decent movies that really add to the franchise. The Predator 2018 can go fuck itself. But I personally think having the Predator hidden in its own movie or small TV miniseries would give a lot of old school Predator fans sort of what they've been missing. It would also be good to bring in a new wave of new Predator fans, and I also think touching on some elements and showing a few nods to some of the decent best parts of Prey, I think would be needed, and I think is sort of the route you have to go down a Predator movie. I've not seen Predator Badlands, so I don't really comment on that movie. Well, I don't really comment. I didn't want to watch it when I first saw it, but I'm not going to mock anyone who did like the movie. I just don't particularly want to watch it. So yeah, that is how I would go about writing the next Predator movie. I think the main point, just keep the Predator hidden, and kind of, you know how fans went berserk at the end of fucking Split when Bruce Willis was there. It's possible to do these days, but word of mouth, get Predator fans back in the seats, or just sitting down watching something that has a nod to the early, 1980s testosterone fucking fueled shit, but it's very modern day as well. Very modern day as well. When it comes to the actual Predator themselves, maybe you could have some backlog into why they come back. But as much as I am a Predator fan, I know there are a lot more die-hard Predator fans in there. So if you have watched this and you're a lot more into the knowledge of the Ultra and how they work, why would they come back? Let me know in the comments. Do you think this could work? If not, fully understand. But this is how I'd like to see a Predator movie done. But thank you very much for watching. This is what a chef looks like after he's finished work in the middle of a heat wave in Britain. So apologies if this is the first time you're watching me and I look like shit. Get used to it. But yeah, I'd much appreciate a subscribe if you have one. And if you did like this video, please leave a cheeky like. If you think we should go down a different route of the Predator franchise, let me know in the comments, because I'm not here to argue. I'm just letting you know what I would personally like to see come from the franchise. For all of you who have been here since the beginning, love you all. And my message, as always, much love, take care, peace.